What's up? This is the Vinyl Casket. I'm your host, Nick, with the lamest taste today. Okay, we have our weekly comic book reviews. Boom, right there. That's what we got. I have like one pickup. I picked up volume 4 of Eden Zero, the manga. And I have a bunch of records to do a review and an unboxing for. So I'm going to do that probably on Monday night. We'll see. We'll get right into it with starting off with the indies. We got IDW's issue 4 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. Okay, so this series started off with a bang. First issue came out, about a month later, second issue came out. Then we went like almost 3 months without the third issue, and then we went another like 2 to 3 months for the fourth issue. This is the ratio incentive cover, really cool. I actually like this way better than the A cover. Story picks up right where it is. Huge battle. We get to see the start, the nitty gritty of that battle, and we get to see the conclusion of that, but not really the war. We also get the background of what happened to Donatello and Master Splinter after they went to Japan, and the exploits of Mikey going to Japan looking for them, and how he found out, and the whole story there. I love like the 3 or 4 different art styles of this book, how it between flashbacks and stories and every different time, like you have present, past, like flashback, are all different art styles that reminisce different styles of past Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle runs. So I thought that was really creative, really interesting, and I really enjoyed this. I just wish that it wasn't so infrequent. It's a 5 or 6 issue series, and we're only on issue 4 after almost a year. I think this started in December or January, and we should be done with this. And they keep pushing it back. This issue was supposed to come out like 3 different times, and they keep pushing it back. But the issue itself, I'm gonna give a solid 8. I'm gonna give it a solid 8. Okay. The only other independent we have is from Image Comics. This is issue. What is this? Issue 8. Issue 8 of Radiant Black. So we're already on 8 issues of Radiant Black. Awesome cover. This is the regular A cover. We finally get a little bit of background on this villain with the sword. We don't have a real name for him yet, but we get to see the 4 Radiants really coming together and using their powers to fight this guy, and we get to see them kind of using their powers in a way we haven't seen yet. We've seen 1 or 2, but we get to see everybody, and we get to see the internal conflict of them struggling to come together as a team to take on this threat. I thought it was really interesting. Artwork is phenomenal. And Kyle Hayden just keeps writing in a beautiful story, and I'm so happy that I picked this up at the beginning because I'm loving it. I'm going to give it a 7.5. yeah, we could really have a little bit more development of who this guy is. They are really pushing that along. It's been 3 issues of him being in it, I think. All right, so we're going to start off with Marvel. The first book we're going to talk about is X-Men, The Onslaught Revelation. So this finishes out that miniseries that we had with Wave X. So originally when Wave X came out, I thought it was an ongoing. It was a mini. I think it was 4 issues, 5 issues. It told the story leading into this, set the whole stage, that miniseries of the stage, and this is the big finale, right? We know all the mutants in Krakoa have been, using this resurrection protocol. The rest of the world doesn't know. If they die, they are reborn in a new body with a backup that Cerebro and Professor X have had of their minds re-put in the body. But what happens to, if you died on Monday, this is straight out of the book. If you die on Monday and you're brought back on Wednesday, what happened to Tuesday? Or you were backed up on Monday, you die on Tuesday, and you come back on Wednesday. What happened to Tuesday? Tuesday is getting eaten by Onslaught, which is an old villain combination of both Magneto and Professor X back in the day. Really interesting how Onslaught got its hold into Krakoa. We find out that this character lost, so we've been hearing about the entire time of Wave X. Was used by that Orchis organization that has been plaguing and giving the X-Men a hard time the entire Krakoa run so far, since House and Powers of X restarted everything. And it's cool to see that connection, and her hatred for Fabian was the reason why she was able to bring it here, and Fabian having a realistic moment and being able to apologize and come to terms with himself allows her to release this. And it was a really cool conclusion to all this, and you see Pixie would be really cool saving everybody, and it ends in a really cool way. So they defeat this new Onslaught that took over Professor X and Magneto again, and we get this thing called the Spark. So it's not really like a religion, as a lot of us thought Nightcrawler was going to bring a new religion. It's more of like an agency, almost like a police force. It's going to be this organization that enforces this ideal of saving and keeping people safe on Krakoa and keeping to those moral mentalities. And I can't wait to see what the title's going to look like, what the team's going to look like. We have a little bit of a teaser at the back of this. You see, some interesting characters. Like, they're going to bring back Blindfold. Like, I'm very excited about this. They're finally going to bring back Blindfold. That Juggernaut might be a good guy in this. I didn't read the Juggernaut miniseries, but I'm very excited to see where we go with this. I'm going to give this an easy 8.5. This is a great conclusion from a great miniseries, and I think that the X book should be following this. Instead of dragging things along and prolonging stories for 8 issues, 4 issues, then a climax finale, that's all you need, right? We have the last issue of Guardians of the Galaxy. This is part of the Last Annihilation event. This is issue 18. This is Legacy issue 180, and this is the end of this ongoing series. It sucks that an issue couldn't even make it to 20 issues. I know they did this for whatever reason, but I hate that. I hated that with Batgirl. I hated that with Batman Beyond. I hate when, ongoings are cut so short. This is awesome. Artwork here was phenomenal. Team is great. Huge team. Ton of characters. At the end, you get a huge, big, straight panel of all the characters that have been part of this Guardians team since the beginning of the run, basically. Everyone that's been involved in the storyline. Dormammu's defeated. Really cool way they do it. I only didn't read one tie-in. So I read the Cable tie-in. I read the Wiccan and Hulkling tie-in. I did not read the Wakanda tie-in, and I read the Sword tie-in. Besides that, I just only didn't read the Wakanda one. But didn't feel like I needed it. Honestly, the other ones added to the story. You get the big weapon that you get through Cable and Sword. You get all the events wrapping together nice and neat from the other stories, and a really good conclusion. A really good conclusion. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was awesome. I love how Doom was using like his mystical powers to use like the tarot cards, the way Doctor Strange does to fight Dormammu, who's a giant planet Galactus looking creature, and weakens him, and then the rest of the Guardians are able to use this giant weapon that they got from the X-Men to send this bullet, and they defeat it, and they get to have a happy ending. For now, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm assuming there's going to be another series or some kind of new thing, with Darkhawk being a new series now. He's on Earth still. We only have gotten issue 1, so issue 2, hopefully it moves forward, and it eventually goes to space, and we get Darkhawk, and we can get, the Guardians and everyone back together doing some space stuff. But the big conclusion out of this is that Doctor Doom absorbed a lot of the power from Dormammu. So now he has Dark Dimension powers, which is going to mean something with all the events that are going on with him in the Fantastic Four. Who knows what's going to happen? So this is an easy 7.5. Great story. I think the whole Last Annihilation, I think it was issues 16, 17, 18, because issues 13, 14, 15 was that connecting cover that created the new presence of the Guardians, and then issue 12 ended the whole thing of them fighting those gods with Hercules. Really cool story, really cool arc, really cool series. I highly suggest picking this up when it comes out in like a hardcover format. Okay, we have issue 3 of Moon Knight. So as you say, we finally get to have that encounter with the other fist of, I can't say its name, it's the god that Moon Knight gets his powers from, that he's been working for the entire time that Moon Knight's existed. Mark Spector having to fight this new doctor guy who's this other fist that is trained and has gotten his training through the memories of other people. And you see this big throwdown, right? About him trying to kill the vampires that are part of Moon Knight's like protected family, right? Really cool, a lot of backstory, a lot of character development for this incarnation of Moon Knight. If you don't know, I'm pretty sure he's bipolar. He has a lot of brain damage from the god that gave him the powers. So seeing these two, overpowered, weird Batman-looking guys fight each other was really cool. This is an easy. I'm gonna give high grades this week because almost all the books are really good. I had almost no regrets. So this is an easy 8 out of 10. Solid. I'm loving this run. Okay. We go on to issue number 3 of X-Men. Awesome A cover. Not a lot of variants so far, but when we hit DC, there'll be variants. Book is awesome. The series is awesome. I love this like villain of the month kind of thing, where like big villain comes, big fight, cool story, lots of development, and it's all connected to this overarching plot that is slowly, but not too slowly. It just nicely paced and built together across these 3 issues so far. You get the High Evolutionary who has beef with Rogue, his daughter, which also has beef with Rogue, and you get to see this big fight, and how it concludes is really cool. You get to see a lot of really cool art. I thought Cyclops was really funny when he's normally like a very serious character. I think they downplayed him just enough where it wasn't stupid, but it was like enjoyable. This is a really good team and a really good story. I highly suggest reading this series. I don't want to spoil it too much because I really want people to get into this. It's way better than the previous X-Men series. 9 out of 10. Okay, we have issue 1 of The Death of Doctor Strange. This is the Scotty Young variant cover. If you know, I love Scotty Young variant covers. He was my favorite cover artist. Awesome. I didn't expect anything out of this. I thought this was endearing. I'm assuming that this follows right after the last ongoing series that recently ended, Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme, where he gets the ability to use his hands back, and he goes back to both being the Sorcerer Supreme and a surgeon again. It plays into that. He has a ghost dog that cares about his health. You get to see him, working at the Strange Academy and this and that. You see that Dormammu's kid kind of hints that there's something going on with his dad, so that might tie into Last Annihilation and Doctor Doom. And then at the end, he's dead, right? Yeah, he gets killed, but it's this whole monologue and this big story and a lot of development built into this leading up to the end, and I thought it was the right way to do it. I thought it was very heartwarming. I really enjoyed this issue. I think the artwork could have been a little bit better, and I think that they could have staggered it a little bit. The death in the first issue. Obviously, we knew it was going to happen, but I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, final Marvel book. We have issue 7 of Alien. This is the variant cover. Love it. I think it's awesome. This cover is beautiful. These colors are perfect. This is the start of a new arc. This is the new chapter. Chapter 2 of the Alien series. The first one, you don't need to know anything going into this. It was cool. I loved the first arc. I love the first 6 issues. I thought it was great. Even Aliens Aftermath, which is just an extra issue. That was awesome too. This is its own thing so far, and I love it. Every issue feels like a movie. You get this new ship, you get this new planet. You find out that these people that have this very powerful, very dedicated church base were convinced to go to this planet and to terraform it. And there's 3 terraforming stations, and a lot of them have never met because it's on the other end of the planet, but they have this shared religion that's kept them there for 20 years, and finally they've gotten to the point where levels are good, and they can now shut everything down. The planet belongs to them, and that the company is coming to have, with their lawyers in a ship in hyperspace, to have them sign the papers, whatever. But when the ship finally gets there, we find out that there was a breach and the captain was woken up and something goes down. There's an alien in the ship, and the alien causes the ship to crash into the fields. They put it out, and one of the main people that has been pushing for this planet to get everything, and she has some degenerative disease, gets into the ship, sees someone literally have a chest burster burst out of them. And I think it's the first time we've seen a chest burster in the comics come out, in the Marvel comics, come out of the body. It was awesome, well pictured. I loved it, and it sets up for this new adventure on this giant open world where people that know each other by voice but don't even know each other by face. There's gonna be aliens, and there's eggs everywhere. There's gonna be aliens running around, and there's gonna be this belief element of these gods, and I can't wait to see what happens with this new chapter. This is a 10 out of 10. Every issue has been so good. I literally can't wait. I don't hope that they turn this series into movies. I hope they just make movies that reference this series. All right, on to DC. We got a bunch, and this has been a long video so far. So, issue 4, Batman the adventure continues based on the animated series. It's a season 2. You get this new guy called the Muscle. He's this villain, and Batman basically has to take him on. It was good. Artwork was fantastic. Story was pretty, normal. You get Montoya, and you get some Batman cop interactions. Nothing crazy happens. I thought it was cool though. It was interesting. Good story. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. Okay, we get issue 3 out of 4 of Shazam. He takes on Nenron. Oh, right there. This follows the actions of Teen Titans Academy, Nevermore, and Billy Batson as Shazam fighting him, and then finally Raven comes to the rescue, and finally we're about to get to the Rock of Eternity. so Billy can get his full powers back. And I'm pretty sure that he's gonna run into the Suicide Squad in the next issue because they went to hell in their last issue to get the Rock of Eternity. So I can't wait to see that crossover again. It's gonna be awesome. This is an easy 7.5. The series has been great. I love these 4-issue miniseries. Okay, we have issue 1 of Aquaman the Becoming. So I'm definitely not going to give this as high of a rating as I thought I was going to. So it's a cool story. You get to see some character development of Aqualad, of Jackson. Really cool interaction with him and, you know, Aquaman and Mera and this whole thing. And Aquaman's got to go to Mars for some reason. So him and Mera are in charge, and he goes to have brunch with his mom, and he's having this flirty thing with the waiter, and it's cool. He takes on this weird villain, and he has a FaceTime call with the Teen Titans. I didn't even realize he was still connected to the Titans, but he is, I guess. And then he goes back, whatever, and he's attacked, and these people are turning on him. Atlantis is turning on him, saying he's a traitor. I don't know where it's going. I think it's cool. I hope it's going to be some really cool development for him. But artwork was good. First issue just felt lackluster. It felt like they were building something up, and the way they fizzled out at the end wasn't that cool. So I'm gonna give it like a 5.5. I'm gonna continue to get the next issue and see if I like it. If not, after that, I will drop it. Issue 5 out of 6 of Batman the Detective by Tom Taylor. Right? Yes, Tom Taylor, Andy Kubrick. Awesome art. I love the background, like, telling of the times he hooked up, that he hung out and worked with the Knight and the original Squire. Squire? I think that's what it's called. The Knight, which is like the British Batman or like the European Batman. Thought that was cool. Thought that, you know, this whole build up, and you find out that the person, Equilibrium, the person that's coming after Batman, pretending and dressing up like Batman and killing all the people that he saved, was trained by the same person that trained him, and that the reason why she wants to kill all these people and kill Batman is because her husband was killed in a car accident by a guy who was saved by Batman. All crazy. I thought it was awesome. Really cool issue. I'm going to give it an easy 8 out of 10. Can't wait to see the last issue. Tom Taylor is really knocking that one out of the park. So we get up to Flash 774. Awesome cardstock cover. Love this. My friend Manny Reads Comics had very bad opinions on this and is dropping the series. I, however, am giving this an easy 8.5 out of 10. I think it was phenomenal. Artwork was great. Story was cool. It felt like Mark Waid storytelling. It was Wally West at his best. Him and his daughter. A whole story where they literally can't rely on their powers. Basically, this villain, Dr. Nightmare, is mad that Terrific Tech, the company that is owned by Mr. Terrific and now employs Wally West, fired him and took his technology and said that he was, didn't have a clue what he was doing. So they try to control dreams and make dreams into reality. So he's converted it to make nightmares so he can control these weird creatures. And they're on the way to this daddy-daughter dance. And on the way there, they see this big fog, and then all the cars are stopped, and there's no one around, and everyone's asleep. Well, there's people around, but they're all asleep because of sleep gas, but it's not making them tired because their fast metabolism is burning the gas. So they're still awake, but they can't really use their powers because their metabolism is working so fast that it can only focus on keeping the gas from keeping them asleep. Hey, Zolfer, thank you. How you doing, Anthony? But I thought that was a cool mechanic, a cool gimmick, and it forces them to have this bigger challenge. Now, the Flash can't use his power, and neither can his daughter, to take on this villain. And they see something going down, and they follow it, and they get to where Wally works, and they see the guy entering the building, and it ensues, right? They steal the machine, they use it to create dreams, and they fight the nightmares or dreams. Really cool story, really innovative. I love how the author, the writer, the creatures, the nightmare creatures and the dream creatures are based off of drawings by his daughter. I thought that was awesome. This was such a cool, interesting, unique story. I thought it was awesome. I think this is peak Wally West right now. Family, loving, caring, and ambitious, smart, and doesn't need his powers to be a hero. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I don't care what Manny says. 9 out of 10. All right, so we're up to issue 64? 84. 84 of Nightwing. So we have the ratio variant, the wanted poster, and we have the card stock. So this is the start of Nightwing's introduction into Fear State, where he just basically said, hey, I'm going to save, as Dick Grayson, I'm going to save Bloodhaven, but then he gets a distress signal from Oracle, which is his on-off again girlfriend, Barbara Gordon, the original Batgirl, but it's not her. Oracle's been compromised, so he shows up, he's ambushed by the Magistrate. Batman flies in, they team up, awesome, dynamic duo, kicks ass, awesome fight scenes, awesome storyline, awesome development. And then, he ends up talking to Oracle, they find out, and they decide to team up to take back Oracle, which is going to be a cool next issue where Nightwing and Batgirl take back Oracle, and she gets this new costume, and it's awesome. I'm so happy to have the wanted posters. When I first saw these were coming out, I told my shop, and when they found out they were going to be ratios, I was like, you know what? I'll be happy if I get the Nightwing. And I was able enough for them to save on the wall for me the Nightwing. So I have the Nightwing ratio wanted poster, and that's the only one I really cared about. Catwoman would be cool, but this is an 8.5 out of 10. Awesome. New artist, by the way. It is not Bruno Redondo for this issue. Right now, it is it Robbie? Robbie Rodriguez. First issue, artwork's good. Not as good as Bruno's, but it was good. I was okay with it. Okay, 2 issues left. We have issue, I can't see in the light, 35 of Catwoman. These are the variant covers that all are done by the same artist in the same style with a solid color in the background. I've been collecting them for a while now. I think this issue was awesome. Again, Fear State. It's the same thing. They tried to lure Catwoman out of Alleytown to main Gotham to try to find out if Bruce was dead. She was like, okay, if Batman's dead, I gotta go find Bruce. I gotta go see the family, make sure everyone's okay. Like, I love Bruce. I love these kids. I gotta go after them. She tells, everyone in Alleytown to take care of it, and she goes, and then she's stopped by one of the people she trained that uses a Cheshire mask, but I don't think she's Cheshire. Whatever, because Cheshire is also in this. Stops her, tells her that it's not real, blah blah blah, and she stays. So Magistrate's really trying to lure everybody in and capture them to stop Batman from having help and to take out Bloodhaven, take out Alleytown, stuff like that. But Alleytown has a bunch of new heroes, villains that are reforming to take on the Magistrate. Clayface, Killer Croc, Firefly, a character called Knockout, I don't really know that well, and Cheshire. And I was very excited to see them. It teases the stuff with Harley Quinn and the Gardener coming. It teases the stuff going on with the 2 Poison Ivies. It ends the whole Father Valley story arc. That cop that was, trying to protect her is now dead, which sucks. She sends her sister away. But it's really building into Fear State. All these books are starting to really connect, and Fear State's going to be pretty epic. This is going to be a solid 8. Definitely loving Catwoman. And the final issue of the week is Batman 113, with this connecting cover that connects to 112 and 114, with, I think, Scarecrow's on this side with the rest of his cape, and Ghostmaker's on this side with the rest of the cape. It's awesome. More Fear State. Basically, Batman's convinced that Scarecrow planted something inside his brain, when he was captured, and he needs Ghostmaker to use some weird tech to get in his brain and to get the thing. And they figure it out, and then they find out that Ghostmaker had left when they were still training abroad, had left and gone to Gotham to, learn more about Gotham because he was so intrigued. And he met Scarecrow before he was Scarecrow and had studied with him and learned about his thesis and his paper they wrote about the fear state and this whole plan that's been a thing for years, and he's finally doing it. So now we get these really cool flashbacks and this motivation that this has been a thing going on forever, and he's been leading to this fear state, and it's really cool. We get to see the start of a fight between Peacekeeper 01 and Peacekeeper X. Very excited to see that. This buildup is getting really cool. I really can't wait to see these fear state storylines start to really get into each other. This is an easy 8.5, right? And I would say out of all of these, the pick of the week, this is hard. Pick of the week. All right, we'll do a pick of the week for DC. A pick of the week for DC is going to be Nightwing. And the pick of the week for Marvel isn't even a choice. It's Alien. But if I had to say a second, I would say I would say X-Men issue 3. Awesome books. Really excited. Sorry I did not post pictures of last week's pull list. I made a mistake. I shuffled and filed everything away before. I'm going to eventually post those individually. I got to work on figuring out which boxes they are and pull them out. My bad. With that being said, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Vinyl Casket. This video will be up there. So you're watching this on YouTube. You made it through the whole video. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the bell. I really appreciate it. On Instagram at Vinyl Casket Comics, I've been posting all these issues as I've been reading them. I'm going to post the bulk list of the ones that don't get their own individual reviews real soon. Yeah. That's my weekly comic book review. I'm Nick. This is the Vinyl Casket, home of the lamest taste. Remember to always stay lame.